Hello Sagittarius, and welcome back to Unbound Soul Tarot. My name is Helen and I am super excited for this reading today, where we are going to be looking at the upcoming month of September 2024, and we're going to see what it is that you should know about the upcoming month so you can be sort of prepared, have a bit of a glimpse into what it is that you're going to be experiencing. So the way that this is going to go is we're first going to look at your energy and the energy that is around you, and then we're going to get a more detailed info, hopefully, about the general energy of the month, the block or challenge that you may be facing in the month, a positive that will be coming up for you in the month, and also a major or main lesson that you can learn in the month of September. So exciting stuff. And we're going to be diving fully into all of these areas, and hopefully we will get a lot of interesting information. But I do want to emphasize that this is still a general reading, okay? So please just take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And I am aiming this reading towards the sun signs and rising signs especially. So if you are a Sagittarius sun or rising, then this is most likely to resonate with you. But also if you are a Sagittarius moon, this could speak to you also. So these are the three main placements that I am aiming at. So I do recommend watching all of these different signs, the rising, moon and sun sign, to get the most comprehensive view of the month. But having said that, let us look into your energy during the month of September 2024. So Sagittarius's energy in the month of September 2024. Please show me Sagittarius's energy. Thank you. Okay, interesting. And the energy around Sagittarius in the month of September 2024. What sort of energy is around Sagittarius? Okay. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, we have the question mark at the bottom of the deck, but let's keep it here. Anyway, so let's get the other cards out as well, and then we will fully dive into the messages. So I'm going to look at the general energy, any blocks or challenges, the positive that you'll be facing, and then the main lesson that you can learn potentially in the month of September. Okay, so Sagittarius, let's get into this. First off, your energy is coming through as this sort of connectivity card, spirituality card. So this is making me feel that during the month of September, your energy is going to be very much in tune with like the more subtle energies around you. Also, it feels like you're going to be very much sort of seeking like spiritually inclined activities, or trying to find some sort of a deeper like meaning, possibly some answers, possibly also trying to find peace, or do more activities, or seek out some sources of peace, something that would just sort of be a calming force for you and offer you a sense of security, or something, you know, that will give you answers, something that will give you solutions, or that will help you to make sense of what is happening. So this to me feels like you're very much sort of seeking the more ethereal, the more otherworldly knowledge or insight. So, you know, if you are spiritually inclined, if you practice tarot readings, or if you do scrying, or use a pendulum or something like that. If you do any of these like magical esoteric practices, then it could be that in the month of September you will feel especially called to do so. But if you are not actually that like spiritually inclined, it could just be that you are trying to do things that bring you a sense of calm, that bring you a sense of peace, and sort of trying to connect with something that, as I said, would give you a sense of security, something that you could like almost like grab onto or hold onto, something that would give you some sort of reassurance. Now, I don't want you to be alarmed, but it just seems like that might be something that you will sort of feel a bigger need for in the month of September. Now, the energy around you is coming through as the hourglass. And so what this is telling me is that, the aspect of time is somehow very important with the people around you, the circumstances around you. So, one way that this could manifest is that you could be feeling like you are constantly like running out of time, like you are constantly feeling rushed, or like there is some sort of pressure on you, or like, something is sort of like causing a bit of stress for you, making you feel like you need to sort of get a move on something, or you need to progress, you need to get things going. Another way could be absolutely contradictory and sort of saying that the energy around you could be sort of slowing down, or asking you to be more patient, asking you to have more sort of like persistence with things just sort of taking a lot longer, or, not really manifesting exactly the way that you want them to. So there could be potentially some sort of like delays, or things just not really moving along as quickly as you would like them to. But I also kind of get the sense, I'm not sure that this is going to resonate for all of you, but I kind of do also get a sense of like something to do with the past, or something to do with repeating something. So it could be that the energy around you, especially in your, relationships with the people around you, there could be some sort of like pattern coming back around, or some sort of issue that you have had to deal with previously. And somehow that could be coming up as like significant, or sort of like, I don't know, like repeating or coming back around for a second time, or however many times you have gone through something. So so that could also be possibly the reason why you are sort of needing this calming force, or needing some sort of positive reassurance from somewhere else, because it could be, that it is like affecting you in a like a deeper sense, or you could be having a hard time not being bothered by it, or not being agitated by it, or something like that. So that is kind of that is an interesting energy here. But let's look at the actual sort of messages that we have for the month of September. So for the general energy, we have this somewhat ominous looking card, and this is like, it is a card of betrayal. But again, I don't want anyone to feel like, freaked out or triggered by it, because it just feels like, there could be something sort of triggering that is going to be coming up for you in the month of September, something that is sort of being highlighted for you. So again, it could be that there are some sort of uncomfortable or unpleasant discussions or conversations that you are going to be having. It could be that there are, again, some sort of old patterns that that you need to confront, or that you need to look at. It could also be some sort of maybe not so healthy habits that you have, or that you have been trying to leave behind in the past. Maybe, there could be something cropping up again regarding to that. So there could be some sort of like temptations or relapse or something like that. So, it doesn't have to be as like menacing and deep as this like betrayal per se, but it does seem like there's going to be some sort of tension or some sort of disruption that is, again, most likely why I feel like you are going to be needing this like calming presence, or seeing some sort of seeking out some sort of like deeper connection, or finding answers, that type of thing. Now, looking at the block or the challenge that you are potentially facing, we have this rose card, and this is actually such a beautiful card, because it is speaking of affection and love and beauty, and just like these sweet tender emotions and feelings and deeds. And so because this is coming out as a block or a challenge for you, it could be that you may be sort of either struggling to see like the positive in a situation, or even to tune into your like compassion or your kindness, especially if someone is really, getting on your nerves or really triggering you in some way, or if just the circumstances that you are dealing with, it doesn't have to be specifically about like a relationship or your connections to other people. This could, as I said, just generally be about like the circumstances that you are dealing with that could be either like pushing your buttons some way, or just sort of getting on your nerves, or there's something causing a bit of stress, a bit of like tension. And so you may be having a difficult time, again, either like seeing like the good things that are there in your lives, things to be like grateful for, and that is somewhat, not very common, I guess, for Sagittarius, because, as an archetype, you guys are known as the most like optimistic and enthusiastic and sort of having that Jupiterian energy, right? That always like gives you a bit of a boost and gives you a bit of an advantage even in like difficult times. But it feels like for some reason in the month of September, that is somewhat being tested. And this rose card could also be talking about like forgiveness, right? So, if this is talking about some sort of like either falling out with someone, or just maybe some like distance cropping up, or that possibly has already been developing, it could be that you are finding it hard to forgive someone, or to again have compassion towards them, or understand where the other person is coming from. So and this is making me feel that it is even more crucial for you, my dear Sagittarius, to actually seek out the things that do bring you that sense of calm and grounding and peaceful energy, because it seems like you really, really need it. Now, looking at the positive that you are going to be facing or experiencing in the month of September, we have this card over here. And this is making me feel that there is going to be something that you are going to be experiencing that will really, emphasize or enhance the way that you see yourself. Something that is going to be like really cropping up your like self-image, or just, bringing you a sense of feeling good about yourself, feeling strong, feeling capable, even if, because, this card is basically saying that, there could be something in the way that you see yourself that is not actually truly like reflected in reality. So it's almost like this fake it till you make it energy. So, you could be having to like use your imagination a bit, or give yourself some like pep talks or affirmations or something like that. But I do feel like it is something that you're going to be able to do. Now, again, this could be because of a specific situation that occurs, or this could just be something that you sort of develop as the month progresses, and as you sort of face these triggers or irritators or things like that, and it sort of makes you see how like capable and resilient you really are, and what a strong character you have, and how much you have grown, and all these types of things. So yeah, it seems like there is a possibility for some positive like growth, and again, seeing yourself in a better way than you maybe have previously. And now we get to this final card, and this could be a bit triggering, so I am like warning you guys again, because the image is like quite potent, let's just say it like that. But this is talking about the main lesson that you can learn, and obviously, as you can see, it's very self-evident, this card. This is all about like an accident, right? But I do feel like, because this is talking about the main lesson that you can possibly learn or potentially learn in September, I do feel like this is saying how, there are things that sort of come to an end, or come to some sort of culmination, even if it's like some sort of like explosive culmination that is not, pleasant to go through. I feel like sometimes things just have to go that way, right? Like, certain relationships possibly have to blow up, or certain circumstances have to come crashing down, because maybe they are not the best for us. Maybe they are taking us in the wrong direction, right? Maybe they are leading us off course, that type of thing. And so I feel like this is almost a message of learning to let go more, learning to give up like this sense of control, or like this need to control things because you feel like you know exactly how something is meant to go, how something is meant to turn out. And sometimes that vision or that idea that we have in our heads, that we're very much like, set on, sometimes those visions are not actually what's best for us, but we just can't understand it at that time, right? And so the universe sort of needs to intervene in a way, or things happen outside of our control, but ultimately it is all happening for our benefit, right? So it's going to take us somewhere that is actually much more aligned with us and that is actually much more good for us. And we will be able to see it afterwards, right? So sometimes we can make like not so great choices or decisions because we feel that what we envision is the best that we can possibly have, and that just is not always the case. And so that's what I feel like the sort of main energies are going to be for you. But we are also going to take a look at the potential outcome. So what could potentially come out of all of these different areas? So let's see. Okay, so we have the cheetah card coming out first as the potential outcome for the general energy. It definitely feels like whatever this sort of irritant or sort of stressful or tense energy is that is going to be coming up for you, it seems to sort of set you on like some sort of course, or it's almost like giving you a laser focus energy, if that makes sense. It is going to bring a lot of momentum and it's going to bring a lot of forward movement. Now, whether that forward movement is actually in a direction that you want to move in, that is a question in and of itself. And so, I'm not going to lie. It does seem like, at least for some of you, you may be struggling at first, or you may be having a hard time accepting the way that the situation is developing or progressing. That could be something that, as I said, you're not really like too happy about, or that you're struggling to understand and accept. But I do feel like ultimately this is going to give you a sort of like very necessary push towards some sort of like achievement, or towards some sort of goal. And so that's why I feel like whatever this thing is that is coming up for you and that is possibly challenging you a bit, it is actually leading you someplace that you really want to go, but you just may not be aware that that's how the universe is leading you there. Hopefully that makes sense. And I also feel like, because the cheetah is very fiery energy, and it is very much like, talking about passion and, being driven and having that like fire in your belly, that type of energy. It does seem like, again, whatever the situation is, it could like blow up quite a bit. So, I'm just putting it out there that it may have somewhat like explosive effects or something like that, or it could sort of build up rather fast, escalate rather fast. But again, I feel like ultimately it is supposed to give you the push that you need, and sort of guide you in a direction that you need to go. We also have this nightingale, and this is talking about the potential outcome for the block or challenge that you are facing. And now this is all about speaking your truth. So I feel like whatever this sort of challenge or obstacle is for you that you are facing when it comes to, again, either like finding some sort of compassion, finding some sort of understanding, or even just like being able to like, brush over the whole situation and make amends, that type of thing. I feel like it is actually leading to some really profound truths being spoken, things being vocalized that maybe previously have been held back, and that possibly has been detrimental either to you, to the other person, or to the relationship that you have. So again, take it in the context that resonates with your life circumstances, that makes sense for you and what you are dealing with. But yeah, it feels like this sort of challenge is potentially coming about so that something that has been previously left unsaid could be said out loud, because I feel like it needs to be expressed, whatever this is. yeah, even though it's again possibly a bit difficult for you, but I feel like it's actually a good thing that you are finding it more difficult to sort of, you know, possibly just like, again, brush it off or dust it under the carpet and almost like, you know, oh, let's turn a blind eye, you know, oh, it's never mind, it's not a bad, you know, it's not a big deal, we'll just forget about it and we'll not like acknowledge what sort of feelings it is actually possibly bringing up in you. And so, yeah, I hope that it makes sense. Anyway, so next we have this Otter card, and this is actually my favorite card in the deck, and this is speaking about the potential outcome for the positive that you are going to be experiencing. So this positive sort of surge in your self-image or seeing yourself in a better way. And I do feel like with this Otter card, it is saying that you're going to feel a lot of joy and a lot of like increase in self-love and just having this sort of like more playful attitude. So it's almost like going to brighten up the whole situation and everything, basically everything that you are dealing with. I feel like it is going to give you so much, like, as I said, positive reinforcement and make it so much easier for you to actually like think with a clear head as well. I feel like I don't know why that's coming through, but it honestly seems like just sort of focusing in or honing in on like your capabilities, your skills, your positive traits that you can always like depend on, always fall back on. It's actually going to help you to sort of rise above the whole situation in a way, the whole fray, and like see it for what it actually is. And so it almost like takes the seriousness out of it, or it like, you know, makes it not such a big deal, or it helps you to like zoom out and see the bigger picture, which I mean, you are naturally very good at anyway, but I feel like even more so in the month of September. So I really love this Otter energy for you, because it does seem like it's going to bring a lot of like positive and happy emotions cropping up in you. And what is also interesting, I love that the way that these, you know, animals are like faced, because everything that seems to be revolving around this like tense energy, everything is looking like this way. It's looking towards the left. Hopefully you'll be able to see it on camera as well. And then this Otter energy and everything else is like looking towards the right. So it's almost like, again, it's almost like you are turning your back on all of this nonsense and sort of like seeing the truth behind everything that is happening on the surface, helping you gain some like deeper understanding. And we have the hyena card coming out last. And so this is talking about the potential outcome for the main lesson that you can learn. And as we already said, this is all about, you know, like allowing some things to sort of run their course or go the way that they are meant to go. And I feel like with this hyena card, what this is saying is that basically you're going to be understanding, like it's going to be made evident for you at the end of it, like why you are being led in a different way, or why this thing had to occur or blow up, or why this sort of tense situation had to happen. Because with this hyena, there is an energy of, you know, like deception or things being shown in one way, but the truth being actually something quite different. So there is a bit of a deceitful energy with this hyena, or a bit of a masked energy. And so I feel like as this being the potential outcome, I feel like you are going to understand, especially as this otter is looking towards this energy too, it's like you're going to be sort of seeing the lie or the wrongness of whatever this path was that you were on before this whole thing like blew up. Again, because, you know, there are so many different things that this could be talking about. I'm going to let you sort of decipher that for yourself. But yeah, I mean, most likely this, again, as I said, this feels like, you know, something that is not going to be coming out of the blue for you, at least for the majority of you. I feel like it's not going to be coming out of the blue. It's going to be something that like is already brewing, or there are already like signs of it. And so, yeah, it just seems like it's sort of coming to a head, or it's going to be somehow coming more to the forefront in the month of September. But let's also look at the advice that we can get for you, how to deal with all of these situations, all of these different areas. So let's see what advice Spirit has for you. So let's look at the advice. We are starting off with Temperance, which is your card, dear Sagittarius, and I'm sure that you know that very well as well. But with this being the advice for the general energy of the month, I do feel like Spirit is saying that it is important to, again, try and sort of stay as peaceful and neutral and as unbothered as you possibly can, because again, it feels like there are going to be some testing energies that are going to be pushing you out of that like moderate or balanced or mature way of being, and it is going to sort of test you in, there may be this somewhat of a desire to like lash out, or there could be a desire to like handle the situation in like a very quick manner and just sort of get it done and over with. But for some reason, whatever this thing is, whatever the situation is, it seems like it is meant to be coming up, and it is meant to be dealt with. So again, as much as you possibly can, try and focus on the things that, as I said, are grounding you, that are bringing you peace, and that are sort of taking you more into your element, so that you could like find that neutralizing energy that is going to be so sort of helpful, for you. Also, I just find it really interesting that we are having so many like major arcana cards again. And so I don't know what this is, but it feels like September is going to be a significant month for a lot of the signs. So yeah, I'm just sort of putting it out there. Next, we have Judgment. And I love this card. I love this deck. This is such a beautiful deck. But we are having this card come out as advice for the block or challenge that you are going to be facing. And Judgment is a card of Pluto. So it is talking about rebirth and renewal and sort of awakening energy as well. And so again, I feel like Spirit is saying to sort of embrace the newfound insight that is coming in for you as a result of, actually dealing with the situation, actually confronting it, rather than just sort of trying to, kiss and make up as quickly as possible and try to like move on, not really get pulled into the details to discuss everything and to like analyze everything fully, that type of thing, which, I feel like that's exactly what is sort of needed here, but it might be something that you are not the most, again, comfortable with, just sort of broadly speaking. But yeah, with Judgment, this is basically encouraging you to accept the newness, accept the sort of the insights that are coming in, taking things to like the next level, or really getting deep down into like the truth of things. And yeah, just embracing that, embracing what is coming to the surface. Now, we also have this Magician card, which is a card of Mercury. So it is tied to Virgo and Gemini, but I love that this is coming out for the positive that you are going to be facing, because the previous cards as well have been very much like, not solitary sounds bad, but like yourself focused. So it feels like with this Magician, Spirit is just sort of urging you again to really focus on your own personal power, what it is that you are capable of, all of the skills that you have learned throughout life, everything that you have experienced, everything that you have gone through. You have so much like power reserves to tap into that are going to help you face whatever this tense energy is and sort of like really come out on top. And so that's why I feel like this whole aspect of like self-love and really propping yourself up and reminding yourself of all of the amazing skills and talents and gifts that you have is very much key in the month of September. And we are closing out with a beautiful Three of Cups energy. And this is advice for the main lesson that you can learn. What this is saying is that, again, finding like places that you can experience joy, or where you can experience support and a sense of belonging, and just, you know, like taking it more easy. I feel like that is really, really crucial as well, especially when you are sort of, you know, having these like bigger realizations, or these light bulb moments where, you know, something like comes crashing down, almost like this tower energy, right? If you are familiar with tarot, or just sort of like having this sudden understanding or comprehension, or just things like not working out the way that you expected them to. I feel like just sort of focusing more on the, like, again, the more like pleasurable aspect of life, and just sort of seeking joy and harmony and positivity where you can. Now, this is especially talking about the people that are closest to you, like your soul tribe, your closest friends, your siblings, or family members, like really, really significant relationships and friendships that you have in your life and that you really value. Like, those are going to be super helpful as well, so that you will have an easier time going through these realizations or these sort of changes. But yeah, I am going to leave it here. I don't want this reading to drag on a lot longer. So hopefully, you know, everything came out in an understandable way. I do realize that sometimes it may be a bit difficult to possibly understand. I mean, I hope that's not the case. I hope everything made sense. But yeah, with these general readings, it is what it is. Anyway, so I really appreciate you being here, and I really appreciate you spending your time with me. So hopefully, I do hope that this reading spoke to you, and if that's the case, then I really appreciate hearing from you, leaving a thumbs up or a comment in the comment section, subscribing, of course, letting me know that you want to see more from this channel and from me. That will help really keep this small channel going. But yeah, other than that, I am wishing you the best, most amazing September, and I hope to see you very soon in one of my next readings. Take care. Bye-bye.